Yes, welcome back. While we're waiting for our guests to connect, let's talk
I
about
was
a
talking
little bit.
about, yes, I was
Yes.
talking about, minister states to blame for rising poverty and hardship. Governors build airports, flyovers, investing in projects with no economic impact. For me, that's quite questionable. And I wonder, some governors, in the past have built flyovers to nowhere, really nowhere. The flyovers are just there. And I started to ask myself questions. I started to investigate. I started to pry. I started to become inquisitive. What exactly is going on? Why are they so interested in building flyovers when there is really no need for flyovers? While the citizens are suffering, they can't afford they can't even afford a meal a day. And then you're building flyovers when you really don't need the flyover. If you need flyovers and you're building them, I mean, that's in order. But you don't need them and you're building them. That's not nice. When people are suffering, they don't have food to eat. So, Tommy saying, I thought we could discuss that briefly while we wait for our guest to join us.
It's actually right here. Our guest is here, with us.
Here? Okay.
Yes, our guest is here with us this morning. First of all, let me just say we welcome our guest. Can we see his face so that we can? Okay. All right. Kenny, you want to introduce our guest?
Hello,
good morning. Good morning. Good to have you here.
Yeah, this morning we have with us the former Chief Press Secretary of what do we say now? Osun State or State of Osun?
For me, I'm from Osun State and I always say Osun State. So as far as we're concerned, so Osun people, they're State of Osun. I'm from Osun State and I still call you Osun State.
Okay. The former Chief Press Secretary of Osun State, in the person of Ismail Omekwido. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear us?
Good morning.
Okay, let's hear from him. Now, is it Osun State or State of Osun?
Okay, so I think you're still the Chief Press Secretary to the governor. Am I correct? To the
former governor.
So the former governor, the immediate past governor of Osun State.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So I said I think you're still the Chief Press. You're still the Chief Press Secretary to the former governor of Osun State.
Well, I am now his media aide.
Okay.
Chief Press Secretary was the designation of my last office.
Okay.
But as of this morning, December 1st, 2022, I still speak for Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola as a spokesperson.
All right. So let's quickly have this conversation. First of all, first accusation we'll be bringing to you this morning on the front page of the Punch newspaper. The current governor of Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke, is alleging that you guys made away with all of the Osun State vehicles. What happened to them?
Well, you see, when you have people who talk from both sides of their mouth, you often find it very difficult to know which to believe of all the things they say. For instance, here is a man who claimed that he had set up a panels, 3 of them, one on asset, what he called recovery of government assets. He had another one that he called on appointments. He had another one on chieftaincy. Now, you just inaugurated these committees on Tuesday. Unless you are telling us that those committees have finished their work and they are turning the report. Otherwise, where are you getting all this claims from? That is one. 2, can they tell us what the total figure of the vehicles are? Before you are now telling us that we carted away those vehicles. Like the party responded yesterday the director of operations of the party, challenge them to be specific so that we can know how to respond to them clearly. Apparently, these people are a bit confused, and I can excuse them because it's just like you accuse a reporter. It's just like you accuse a reporter of a misdemeanor. You set up a panel to investigate the reporter. The panel is yet to conclude its investigation, and you are pronouncing the reporter guilty. That's exactly what they are doing. So, I don't think I will belabor myself to engage people who have shown that they are a bit confused about what they want to do.
All right, let's go to some of the subject matter that went rife on social media this week. The first one is
Even on some electronic media.
Did Governor Boyega Oyetola employ 12,000 workers just a few months?
No, between July
17
and
Is that his tenure and expiring?
Yes. Did he employ 12,000 workers in the last few months of his tenure?
Again, that is another lie from the pit of the hair. In October, when they first accused us of engaging 12,000 workers, I had an engagement with their spokesperson, who incidentally is the governor's official spokesman today, Malam Olawale Rashid. I told him that I hope by the time you discover that this figure you are banding around is not correct, you will have the courage to apologize to the members of the public. We never engaged any 12,000. What is the workforce of Osun that will now engage 12,000 between July and November? It's on fire.
That's the same question people are asking.
Did we employ? Yes. How many? A little above 2,000. A little above 2,000. How did we come to that? Early enough, from the start of the administration, while reforming the education sector, the committee recommended that we need to engage 7,500 teachers. After looking through what we have, we realized that we couldn't take 7,005, but that we could conveniently take 2,005.
Without owing
That's
salaries.
the process. It was Jan that helped us. Yeah. It was Jan that helped us to conduct the
Interview.
written test and what have you.
Wow.
Now, once we were done with the interview,
So it was a proper employment.
that we were going to do the employment in batches.
Okay.
Yes, so we took 1,000 first. And
What months did the 1,000 come in?
1,005, and all these
Ismail,
processes began before the election.
Ismail, please do us a favor. We want a bit of specifics. When exactly did the 1,000 come in?
February or March this year.
Okay, earlier in the year. And then you did the last 1,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
1,005.
The 1,000 came in around February or March.
Okay.
We did the last 1,005 between May.
Oh, the network is a bit bad.
Fluctuating.
So, I'm not too sure, but the point I'm making is that this process commenced long before the election. And like I challenge them, unless they are telling us that we knew what the outcome of the election would be, because if you say we're creating problems for the incoming administration, you are invariably saying that we're creating problems for ourselves too, because most of these processes started before the election. And as at that time, we were too sure that the outcome of the election would be in our favor.
All right. Let's go back again. Yinka Kenny has one question for you, because we're still talking about this employment thing, that has, become quite popular. One extra thing that they said you did is the appointment of the permanent secretaries. It was also an employment.
Just few days before.
Just few days before, Governor Boyega Oyetola exited the state.
Again, I will give you a background to that. When we came in 2018, the general perception is that progressive governments are anti-workers.
Okay.
So from day one, we set out to change that narrative. Don't forget, we came in after the popular half-salary scenario in Osun.
Yeah.
The salaries were not paid. Those who got half, and so there was crisis everywhere. And so we set out from day one to change that perception. And so when we came in, first we started with full salary, then Labour started with issue of minimum wage. Again, after about a year or so, we were able to come into a compromise. We started minimum wage. Then Labour started agitating that before we came in, there were some promotions that were done which were not backed up financially, and that some of their members had been on a particular position for a long time, and that the coordinating director, which we normally use in place of BAMSEC, they want it eradicated. At the local government level, where we were using council manager, that they no longer want council manager, they want head of administration. So we kept engaging them on this matter. So, but by May 1 this year, on May Day, after looking at all their demands, about 7 of them, very critical ones, Mr. Governor granted all those demands on May 1st. May 1st was clearly 2 months before the election. So we granted all those requests and we began implementing them one after the other. In fact, you can find out about 2 or 3 days to election, workers were going for their promotion examination. So the permanent secretary thing again was in fulfillment of the promise we made to workers on May 1, because we implemented all the 7 demands. And the last one was the PAMSEC own. And I'm very sure, as a government that prides itself as talk and do, if we didn't complete that, there were people who hold us on to that. And look, you say whatever you say you want to do, you do. And there's nothing you have promised that you did not do. But you did not do this one. So, if anything, the principal should be commended for walking his talk.
Okay, let me go back to the former governor now. He was outgoing, obviously, after the elections. Fine, we know that there are cases, there are cases in court and all of that. But as it is, definitely he knew that despite the case in court, he had to, hand over since the judgment hasn't been pronounced. Was there, and there's this back and forth fly in the air about transition committee. Was there some sort of transition committee from your end or from his end, coming together, talking about, things that,
that needed to be done,
or things that are being handed over and all of that. Was there a transition committee in place that, sat down to do all that needed to be done? I think maybe we do a phone call. Let's do
Hold on. The network is a little bit bad. Yes, we're with you now, but the network keeps fluctuating. Yes, please go ahead. Yes, please go ahead.
I have to park to attend to you before I proceed.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay here?
Yes, it's better.
Yes.
Hello?
It's better. The network is better now.
Hello?
It's better. We can hear you.
Yes, go on, please.
We can hear you now.
I think he's come out of Zoom.
Yeah, I think it's come out of Zoom.
I think maybe we can do a
direct phone call.
A direct phone call.
All right. I think one of the things we also must clarify, if there is no transition committee,
yes,
there must have been a handover note.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
There must have been a handover note, and that's quite important.
Hello, we can hear you now. So you can.
Thank you very much. Now, as I was saying, we had our own transition committee they had theirs. And we wrote to them inviting their own transition committee so that we could sit together to look at what we are leaving behind.
Okay.
But they sent words to us to say that we could hand over to the highest civil servant. And in response to their word, if we can permit, I will share the letter with you. In response to their message, we handed over to the head of service. We handed over 2 documents. One, finances, which is about 10 pages or so, about 10 or 11 pages. Then the second one, about over 200 and something pages. Comprehensive handover notes. These 2 documents were handed over to them.
Can you share that with us?
Yes.
Can you share that with us? First of all, the letter that where they stipulated they want a handover, the handover done to the highest, civil servant, and then a handover note. We're saying that can you share a copy of their letter where they demanded that the handover be done to the highest civil servant?
Yeah, no, they didn't write. They were being clever by half. They didn't write to us.
Okay.
So how did they respond?
They didn't write, but the chief of staff, who was the go between us and them,
okay,
was the one they communicated to. And in our letter, sending the handover note, we said it clearly that further to our letter of a meeting dated blah 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 blah. We are now doing this and that.
Okay, can you share with us the letter you sent to them requesting for the transition committee meeting?
Of course, why not?
No, and we will, so hold on a bit. We will appreciate you do that later, isn't that, Tomisi? So we can, share.
I will share it with you. I read one of those letters on air yesterday.
Oh,
and
okay.
I showed the uncle. Yeah, I did. Now, in the finances, we left behind 14 billion cash. Then
how many contracts were pending payment?
Another, and for the 4 years we spent, we didn't take any bank loan. Yet we paid 97 billion from the debt we inherited. The records are there. They should come out and controvert what we are saying.
But I think some of these things should be made public.
The government made it public last week.
Yeah.
Last week Saturday was
by
published.
our nature, my principle. By our nature, we don't make noise, except when people drag us to this level. We don't make noise about what we do. But if you have the time, study Osun before 2018. Study Osun after 2018. You will know that my principal tribe. 1, to stabilize the economy of Osun. 2, to change the narrative of Osun.
Okay, let me ask you this last one. I'm from Osun State, I told you earlier, and the narrative before 2018, like you said, I'm from Elisha.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so the narrative before 2018, was that teachers were being owed salary. Civil servants across board were being owed salary. Now, 2022, just Saturday, when your principal handed over, how many months of salary are you owing?
We are not owing salary. As a matter of fact, that of November, we sign off on the 23rd November. But apparently, some civil servants who had been taking instructions from a man that had not been sworn in, a man that had no legal authority to take any decision, sabotage the effort of my principal and ensure that that salary was not paid until we left office on the 27th. And so up to this morning, workers have not earned their November salary.
So you see,
from November 2018 to October 2022, we were not owing a time. And you can cross-check.
And hold on, please. The outstanding from the previous administration of Governor Aregbesola was paid off.
No. We only paid part of the pension. And let me also add that
I'm talking about basic salary here.
No, we were paying salaries, but those half salary that were owed by Aregbe, we only paid some, especially to teachers in the local government.
Okay.
And let me also add that was what the PDP used, to bamboozle the workers. They promised them that within 6 months of their coming into power, they will clear all those backlog of half salaries and pension. And the workers came. As a matter of fact, I was the one who negotiated with the workers.
Okay.
And they told me that, look, we know your principal is doing well. Why don't you tell him to also announce that he will pay, even if he will not do it later? And I told them pointedly that my principal is not that kind of a person. Whatever he cannot do, he will never promise. And whatever he promises that he will do, he will certainly do it, because we think through our decisions. And that is why, look at the Ilesha University, for example. Ilesha University has been on the table for over 40 years.
Yeah.
But the day we came out to say we were going to do it, we were sure of what we wanted to do. We don't make pronouncement for political sake. We will never do that. I hope that the people of Osun will hold Ademola Adeleke accountable for the promises he made. Unfortunately, since he came in, he has not said anything about the payment of those backlogs within 6 months. And nobody's saying anything for now.
But that's just about 4 days. He has only spent about 6 days as governor of Osun State. I think we should give him 10. That would be fair.
He has spent 6 days usually telling us what he wants to do. But he has not told us anything about that 6 months salary that he promised he was going to pay.
Yeah, but it's easy for a new governor to tell you what he wants to do and tell you what is on ground. Implement the policies. You need time. I mean, let's give him time and watch as it unfolds.
That is where we are.
Yeah, but we really look forward to get the copy of that letter you sent to the present governor requesting for the transition committee, because there's been a lot of noise about it, that the past governor had a lot of things to hide, that was why there was no transition committee.
So we just need to
there is a hand.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question.
Let him make a point.
Before you ask me this question, if we were hiding anything, they are now in government, they should expose those things we were hiding. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Let me ask you this final question. It's out there in the air that the past governor left 14 billion naira, cash for the present day governor. Do you have outstanding checks? Do you have contracts that
they've not
been paid? Do you have some payments that are supposed to be cashed? Even on that. Let me land on that 14 billion, because we all know that the first thing he did when he got into government was to freeze the account, because we have seen in the past where governors will say, I left so amount of money, but a lot of checks would have been written.
One of them is the presidential candidate as we speak.
Please let me just talk, and I don't want to break tables this morning. I don't want to start breaking tables.
The only reason why you're asking that question is because of somebody that came out and said, so they gave me money, but then they have spent all the money.
So I just wanted to clear that aspect, please.
Thank you very much. Part of the 14 billion we left behind included salary for November.
Okay. Other than that,
and what does the total cost of that come to?
Other than that, I may not have the details if there were any contractor agreement. But the point I want to make is that even if there were, what would be if they not to settle them?
Okay. I like the fact that you're saying what you left behind is enough to tide this government over into the first few months of its administration before it presents its budget to the House of Assembly. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much to Mr. Ismail Onipodo. Okay, I'm saying that what you're saying is that the 14 billion naira cash that was left in the accounts of Osun State is enough to tide this government, the new government, over until they say get their budget approved by the House of Assembly and of course get fresh money from the federal government, which will be in the next few days.
We signed the budget before leaving the office.
Okay, so they're only waiting for fake money. That is money.
We talked to the January to December budget cycle.
Yes, okay.
To the January December
Budget cycle, okay, like the federal government.
Came in, we've been very, very consistent.
Okay.
So we had even signed the budget. The budget had been passed, and we had signed it before leaving the office.
Okay, so administration should hit the ground running.
To pass the budget does not, does not even arrive. But you see, what is key for me is the fact that in 2018, when we were taking up, we took up with debts, including contractual obligations. And we are now living without adding a dime to the debts we met on ground. I think we should be commended.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ismail Omekwido, for joining us on the Bumper Breakfast this morning. And you have a lovely day. And we await those documents.
God bless you. I will share them.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I think that was an interesting conversation. I just would have said, this last one to him that every government is a continuum.
Yes.
Governor Boyega Oyetola had the right to do what he did up to the minute where
The second,
before he left office.
Yes, governance wasn't meant to stop when the new person came in.
It wasn't meant to stop after elections.
After elections, and then for the civil servants who chose to be in charge of money and not pay salaries for the people that were supposed to.
That's what we talk about when we talk about civil servants sabotaging. Most of the times, we always say it's understandable that the politicians would not have been able to perform fraudulent activities
without the civil servants.
And even if they will do well, the civil servants, they've got a role to play.
So, but let me shock you, Yinka Kenny. I think, Governor, since we made some suggestions 2 days ago, and Senator Ademola Adeleke, Governor of Osun State, took some of them, we would make the suggestion again. Do what Governor Seyi Makinde did in Oyo State. He froze the account when he came in newly, but he paid salaries from his personal account. Whether you are freezing salaries or freezing accounts or otherwise, people need to end their pay.
Exactly.
Yes, that
should be done.
Yeah.
You should have done.
That's an obligation.
Pay salaries of workers, but make sure no other money goes out. Or you do what Engineer Seyi Makinde did. You pay from your personal money, and you pay, or you gift the state the salary, as Engineer Seyi Makinde did in your state. We need to take a break.
You're a horrible person.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, our first conversation will hit the airwaves.
Gbogbo Èkó àkété ire ni ọmọ ìlú ní gómìnà kan Ìṣẹ̀yà Jídé Adédìróndé ọpọlọ òfin líle máṣùmátọ̀ ó tó gẹ́ Jàǹdódé ọmọ Èkó ṣe kò fẹ́ra má nílùú Èkó mọ́.
Àbí Èkó wa kọ́ rèé tí gbogbo wa jẹ́ alẹ́nu lọ́rọ̀ nígbà kan kíkun Èkó lọ́dà ò tó wọn à ń jó sí dandan ní ìfọ̀kànbalẹ̀ ará ìlú. Dr. Ọlájídé Adédìran kájú ẹ̀ Jàǹdó for governor kí gbogbo ọ̀nà ṣe rìn fọ́kọ̀ ọrọ̀ ajé tí ò ní pakanleke ẹ jẹ́ ká fi ìbò dídì gbára wa lọ́wọ́ ogun gbódò ńrọ́ṣọ ẹ jẹ́ ká gbárùkù ti Dr. Jídé Adédìran àti Fúnkẹ́ Akíndélé sí ipò gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó àti igbákejì lábẹ́ àsíá ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP fún ìdàgbàsókè àti ìlọsíwájú tó péye. Vote Jàǹdó for Lagos Governor 2023. PDP power to the people. Àwọn Friends of Lagos ló ṣe onígbọ̀wọ́ ìkéde yìí.
This is Doha, this is Qatar. We come together tonight, 1 billion of us, in every corner of the globe where the beautiful game matters.
Here for the show-stopping magic of a moment.
Get DSTV Compact with an HD decoder plus dish kit for only 14,900 Naira to watch all 64 matches. Here for every fan.